What are some unwritten rules in your country that a tourist wouldn't know about? USA. Do not pick up babies. Anywhere. I went to Costco with a few Korean foreign exchange student friends and one of them picked up a baby from the cart. The mother was looking away and when she turned back I saw the instant fear in her eyes. I told my friend to put the baby down and explain to the mom that they were foreign and it's okay to touch babies in Korea. Vietnam. Commit to crossing the road. I know it looks scary due to the endless scooter stampede, but if you just cross at a steady pace, they'll avoid you. Do not try to dodge or make sudden movements. You will get your ass hit and there will be no sympathy. Finland. Do not go too near anyone. Our personal space is huge. This reminds me of a joke a Finnish friend of mine told me. What's the difference between a Finnish introvert and a Finnish extrovert? A Finnish extrovert will look at your shoes when he's talking to you. USA. We are going to talk to you. We like to make small talk with strangers because it sometimes leads to friendships or even just perks of having acquaintances. Once we hear your accent, oh snap, we will have a million questions about your country. Some will seem ignorant. Some will just be downright funny. Humorous. UK. You never, ever, jump a queue. Other cultures don't seem to understand the concept of if I got here first, I get to do it first. Ireland. Seriously. No one cares if you have an Irish great aunt twice removed. That absolutely does not make you Irish. And it's pretty insulting to claim otherwise. 1. When going to a friend's house and the family offers you have dinner with them, it is impolite to say no. 2. Also, they would insist that you stay over in case you've had too much a lambanog and will give you the next best mattress they have. 3. Before you leave, accept the leftover they give should you be hungry on your way back home. Filipino hospitality at its essence. Denmark. Do not stand or walk in the biker lane. You will get yelled at and or run over. Same for the Netherlands. Especially for the Netherlands. Your bike lanes are like a war zone. I live in Singapore, where I'm at, such as fast food restaurants and food courts. Wikipedia.org. There's a common practice known as choping, where one can chope or reserve a table by placing a packet of tissues on the table. Tourists who have no idea of this usually take the table obliviously and get dirty looks from the local who chopped the table. Duck that man. I can't stand when people try to reserve a table before they even get their food. If you have your food, then you can sit down. Been hearing a lot of Northern Europeans talking about bike lanes. So, in America, if you rent a bike, you should be aware that even if the bike lane is painted onto the street in a rainbow pattern with flashing neon lights, nobody gives a shit. You are not safe in the bike lane. Don't forget that all drivers are pissed off by your mere existence if you are on a bike. I don't know why, but it is true. I even catch myself scowling just because I saw a bike rider while driving. I live in Japan. When riding an escalator, everyone stands on the left if they're going to stand so that people that want to walk can pass by on the right. Most escalators in the States can't accommodate a passing lane due to, shall we say, heavier passengers. In London, you don't need to press the open buttons on the tube trains. They open automatically. Please don't look for your train ticket or Oyster card at the barriers. Get it ready before you get there. Also, please don't stop in front of the gates after passing through them. If you have suitcases or big rucksacks, be careful with them and aware of other people. Don't be surprised if everyone gives you a death stare if you board a train with luggage during rush hour. Last but not least, walk on the left. Stand on the right. Don't call it Ireland. Don't call it Britain. Just call it Northern Ireland. Or I just can call it England, much simpler. I'm from Macedonia. Don't live in Macedonia. Germany. Our waiters usually earn above minimum wage, so you never tip more than 15%. Normally 10% for small amounts and a bit less for larger bills. On the escalator, If you want to stand, stand on the right side and let others pass left. If you rent a bike, don't drive like your own granny. Drive fast, and if you want to pause, get off the bike lane. Also, don't walk on our ducking bike lanes. They are clearly marked, blue signs with a white bike and mostly red paint on the bike lane. If you approach a tram or bus stop, brake and let people get on and off the train. Queue from the right at things like a burger joint so that passerbys are not blocked. At museums, trains or the airport, queue frontally. Yes, it is common to encounter nude people of all ages in the sauna or at some lakes or even at some few parks in the city. Don't stare, and for God's sake don't comment on this. Not everyone here is from Bavaria or thinks Bavaria is great. Likewise, not everyone loves beer and sausages. And don't mention the war. K. Edit. 9H later. My god. That went wild. Guys, the war thing was a John Cleese reference. It isn't really that bad over here. In Malaysia, it is absolutely normal for someone to ask you what race you are. It's not meant to be offensive. Just general curiosity. Is that normal for all of Southeast Asia? My Cambodian co-worker almost always uses someone's race to describe them, not meaning to do anything else other than tell me what they look like. It was unusual at first, but is actually pretty helpful. Southerners, USA, be really mindful if someone says bless your heart, because that could mean you earned high favor or just stepped in a big pile of trouble. Or they think you're retarded. It's usually this one. I live in Sweden. Don't get too close to me. Our personal space is rather big. If you're taking the bus, do not ever sit down next to another person if there's other free seats. You take your goddamn shoes off when you're inside your house or someone else's. Australia, Sydney, don't be a duckwit and get yourself caught in a riptide at Bondi Beach. But then we wouldn't be able to see the funny Japanese families on Bondi Rescue every week. Most Australians really don't talk in the typical Australian way. Some do. And plenty of people use a couple of the words. But you'll stand out and seem like an idiot if you try it. My god. Do we swear though? I've lived in Australia for 8 years now. And the extent of my Australian sayings include using the words g'day and mate. Anything else and I sound like a complete dickhead. 2 other things that you should know if you come to Australia. If you are in a pub with friends, you will buy a round for everyone. It's called a shout. Don't just buy one for yourself. Buy for the group. And it will come back to you later in the night. Or the next time you are at the pub. Secondly, if you go over to a mate's house and bring beer or wine, you are not to leave with said beer and or wine at the end of the night if it wasn't finished. Amsterdam. Ride your bike carefully. At first glance it seems there aren't any rules. But there are lots of them. One is not to get yourself or others killed. Also, do not stand on the red paint. Most of the time it's a bicycle lane. It's red from the blood of tourists who didn't know this. If you come to a crowded touristy place, like Disney or Nick, give us some personal space. Don't crowd us. And I may get downvoted for this, but wear deodorant. Even if you don't wear it at home. Americans know once they smell BO a foreigner is nearby. We find it offensive. Mexican here. Don't talk shit about someone's mother, daughter, sister, girlfriend because people have been killed, maimed over that in here. I would like to think that talking shit about someone's mother, daughter, sister, girlfriend is generally a no-no. Whatever country you're in. That's not what your mom said. Don't talk to anyone in public. Only approach people for conversations if they are receptionists or something similar. It's not for your security or anything. But it freaks us the hell out. No one talks to strangers in Norway. Unless you're hiking and above the tree lines. How the duck do you guys ever make friends? Even we haven't figured that one out yet. It just happens. In Australia, put an O on the end of everything. Like Darbo, Robbo, Stevia, Servo for service station and Bottle-O for a liquor outlet. If someone starts a sentence with mate, you are in trouble. Like mate, that's my beer you drinking, but if mate is at the end of the sentence you're okay, like hey can ya grab me a beer mate. Same applies to hunt. In Canada, we're not all super friendly. And we're super sorry about that. Netherlands, just because we're loud doesn't mean we're being rude or angry. We're just a loud people. Also, if you're going to do drugs, don't buy off the streets. Don't mix them, and take into consideration that while you are visiting, some of us actually live here. Also lived in Japan. This is what I have to say. Bow to people who bow to you. Bow to people in general when they give you a service. It's a sign of respect and it goes a long way. Also, take off your shoes and respect the culture. Don't wear the national dress and walk around casually. You're going to wear it wrong and everyone will know you're a tourist. England here. If someone asks you alright or alright mate, this is not an invitation to explain how you are doing in any sort of detail. The only acceptable answers are yeah mate, you and not bad, yourself. Anything else is just weird. America. If you eat at a restaurant, a tip of 10-20% is expected if the service was above horrible. Singaporean here. You are allowed to wear flip-flops and shorts wherever you go. The fancy city area? Flip-flop and shorts are perfect. That 5-star hotel? Flip-flops are welcomed. Public transport? You are weird if you do not wear them. So that explains why my Singaporean boss always wears flip-flops, even in business meetings. If a woman in the state of Georgia in the US touches your arm while she talks to you, she is not hitting on you. It's just something they do. Some sort of leftover to the old school debutante society. Took me a while and few face slaps to figure it out. Canada. If you stop on the highway in a park and get out of your car and try and screw with the wildlife, no one will help you if you get mauled. Just saying.